All right, welcome everybody. As most of you guys know, we broadcast this live, so we welcome all of you guys here, as well as our online crew joining us through the webcam there. And those of you that are joining us online, you can chat to us through the chat box on the right-hand side. Our team meetings at work, we always start off with a little session of everyone sharing some good news. So I'd like to do that here as well, and just kind of open it up. Anyone want to share some good news? Rough crowd today, huh? How can you guys be having a bad day? I mean, let's just take a look here. We'll show the crew here what's going on. This is our location.
Oh, there we go.
So this is where we have our user group, just right here in Land Point Harbor. Thanks to Tommy Lorraine. That back over there.
All right.
Thanks to Tommy Lorraine, we get to come to this wonderful location. So thank you, Get College Funding. But you just can't be having a bad day here. So someone's got to share some good news.
I have some good news.
All right.
I'm not sure why, but I noticed this morning that our unique visitors last week quadrupled. So I'm going to find out why. And that time looking at all the Google Analytics, that's really good news.
Unique visitors quadrupled
Yes.
in the last week.
Yeah, from actually last
Awesome.
months. Last week it was just phenomenal.
You don't know why.
Not yet.
It's got to be because you're working with us.
That's a good one.
Even though we've been working together for almost a year, and all of a sudden we just had a little bit.
Well, and for us, the good news is that because so many kids are graduating, our in-person business has slowed down a lot, so it's given me, not you, but me a chance to clean up.
Cool.
To just do all the administrative minutia that I've
Yeah, summer down months, a good time to get caught up on other things.
Yeah, that's the next school season.
That's good.
Execute.
That's good because I feel like this summer is like crazier than ever for me, but that's just the way it is. Yeah.
Sure. That 1.5 project we've got an opt-in rate of 71%, and then 31% of those are 32% of those are sharing.
Awesome. So 71% of the traffic that hits the page is opting in,
Yeah.
and 31% of those are sharing.
Yeah.
Sweet. What's the opt-in page? What do you have on there?
It is for natural health-based natural health conference that we did back in January.
Cool. Very good. Very good. Anyone else? That's it, huh? Great.
Wait, one more. The Kings won the Stanley Cup.
Kings won the Stanley Cup.
There's some good news.
There you go.
USA beat Ghana.
USA v Ghana. Yep, yesterday. So got some good ones. Yeah, so our online crew can't hear you very well. So if I repeat what you guys say, it's not because I'm just like repeating everything. I'm trying to keep them informed here. Every month we get a little bit better with the technology. Today was a little bit smoother with the camera and everything, but we haven't figured out the audio yet for the online audience. I had my snowball mic a couple months ago, if you remember, and we couldn't get it to work. But I think now that we're running the Hangouts out of Chrome, it's much friendlier with all the different tools that we plug in. So maybe I'll bring the mic next time and we'll try that again. So online crew's joining in. Scott says he's going to be 60 on Saturday. Woohoo! Just getting started. That's right, Scott. Justin says it has launched Zenfusion. Maybe we'll have to take a look at that one here. Today's topic is actually going to be third-party, what do they call it? Add-ons, plugins, and third-party apps, something like that. So that's what you guys had requested last month was, hey, let's talk about a bunch of these things. There are so many, we could talk for a couple days straight about this stuff, right? So I kind of made a list of the ones I'm familiar with, or the ones I've used, the ones I like, and things like that. And we'll go through that list. And if you guys have others you want to share, let's just have it be an open discussion, and we'll share ideas about how we're getting the most out of Infusionsoft. Before we jump into this, just a quick little announcement. We're holding a 5-day event in August, and of course all of you guys are invited. It's August 5th through the 9th. It's actually 2 different events that we've combined. The 5th through the 7th is our Infusionsoft Masterclass, And that's where we're going to go through Infusionsoft in detail, just about every screen, every report, every setting, show you how to use it, why to use it, all those types of things. You're probably familiar with Infusionsoft's Help Center, which has great step-by-step tutorials. But if you don't know what you're looking for, if you don't know that what you need is called a note template, how do you find it? And how do you know when to use it, and those types of things? And so we're going to teach all of the the Infusionsoft basics as well as some advanced things, all in the context of real life scenarios. Okay, so you're in your office and this happens. What do you do? And that's the way we're going to present everything. And we'll literally go through just about every screen of Infusionsoft in those 3 days. That's the 5th through the 7th. And then the 8th through the 9th is our Double Your Sales workshop. And so during those 2 days, we're actually going to workshop and build 4 campaigns in your business. So these are 4 campaigns that we've used with private clients, we've used in other situations. They're proven campaigns that work. Their purpose, of course, is to generate revenue. And so we've got a lead generation campaign, a conversion campaign, upsell campaign, and as well as a long-term nurture campaign that's designed to cycle through various different offers and continue to help people engage with various different things. So during that workshop, we'll teach the campaign concept and strategy. We'll give you the blueprints. I'll print it out step by step. We'll walk through on the screen how to set it up, and then we'll let you have at it. And my team and I, as well as some of our other faculty members, will be roaming the room, helping you out. We're going to bring in our web developer from Utah. We're going to bring in a copywriter. We're going to have the whole team there to help you get these campaigns fully launched. So if you're interested, I don't have a short link for you. It's a big, long URL. Let me see if I can pull it up here, and I'll post it into the that's the URL. So blockchainmarketing.com/Infusionsoft Masterclass and Double Your Sales Workshop. But I'll put it into the chat here for the online crew, and then I'll send out an email afterwards just to follow up with everybody, give you a link to that. So before we dive into the topic, any other questions, comments, announcements? No? Everybody's just so anxious to learn today. Awesome. So what I did is I broke up these add-ons kind of in various different groups. Here's what I have. Things to help you get data into Infusionsoft, email solutions, membership sites, reporting, communication, selling, miscellaneous tools, and fulfillment. So if you think of anything outside those, let me know. We'll put it on the list, and we'll go through it here. So first we'll start off with, let me switch over to screen share here so that our online crew can watch what we're doing. There goes the vortex. I'll switch back over here. Now you're all familiar with the marketplace, right? Marketplace.infusionsoft.com, and you can click on apps right here, and then it'll give you a list of all these different apps. But we'll go through them and take a look at each of them. So a few different ways to bring data into Infusionsoft. A very basic way is through landing pages and forums, right? We know Infusionsoft has a landing page functionality. I don't know if you played with it much, but personally I'm not the hugest fan. And so I usually have our web developer build our own custom landing pages. But if you don't have that resource at your disposal, then what you can do is use various different things like lead pages. Oops, typed that wrong. So if you're familiar with lead pages,
you are about to start converting more leads.
Is it leadpages.net? I don't think that's the right one. There we go. Yeah, so lead pages is landing page tool. One thing I like about lead pages is they actually do testing on these pages, and they are continually testing and optimizing the designs, and so they only give us lead page or landing page templates that are proven to convert. And so I haven't checked out their site recently, but they have a whole bunch of different templates that you can use, and it does integrate with Infusionsoft. So you get your Infusionsoft form code, you plug it in there, it creates the page, you choose the template you want, you alter the copy, and you're good to go. So there's pros and cons of lead pages. One is they have these templates that are all proven and ready to go. That's one of the pros. One of the cons, in my opinion, is it resides on their servers. Now, you can put it on your own domain, so it goes back and forth, but of course that, like anything else, requires a little more technical expertise. Also, since it is their own platform, you have a little less control over some of the things that you might want to deal with. For example, one of the things that I'm always concerned about with any kind of landing page is the ability to track lead sources. And with lead pages, you can put like the lead source tracking code that we use, you can put it on the page, it works, but some of their pages have the form pop up in a light box. It's usually loaded in an iframe, and if that's the case, it will break the lead source tracking script. Unless you go into, there's a little place in lead pages where you can put the tracking code on the form itself, and then it'll load there as well. But again, it's just a lot of extra things that, in my opinion, I just have my guy build a custom page and we're all set. But again, if you don't have those resources, lead pages is a great option. Another alternative to lead pages is OptimizePress. OptimizePress, they recently released, I guess it wasn't so recent now, right? It's just a few months back, OptimizePress 2.0. So OptimizePress is a WordPress plugin that does something similar. They have a bunch of landing page templates, and so if you're running your website on WordPress, you can get the OptimizePress plugin, plugs into your WordPress, and then you can choose, you can create new pages and choose from all the templates that they have, and they can be landing pages, they can be sales pages, all kinds of different things. They have there. One of the pros and the reasons I like OptimizePress is that it is built into your own website. So it resides on your domain, it's within your own WordPress. So if you're running tracking scripts already on your WordPress, they'll automatically already show up in your OptimizePress pages. So if you've got your Google Analytics, your lead source tracking scripts, those types of things will automatically already load because they're loading through your WordPress already. So OptimizePress is another good option. Again, I like it because it's in your own site and you have a little more control over what's going on there.
Hey, Tyler?
Yeah.
Can I interject just on lead pages?
Sure.
I've been studying that. I mean, even if you don't use it, they've got such great information on their blog. I've heard so much about landing pages.
Yeah.
The educational.
Really good point.
Subtle little things that they.
Yeah, really good point. A lot of these tools do that. Lead pages being a good example. If you go to their site and read their blog, great education just to learn, even if you're not using their tool. So good point. Thanks for bringing that up, Scott. Another alternative to lead pages is Unbounce. I have not used this one. I've used lead pages. I've used OptimizePress. Unbounce, my understanding, is very similar to lead pages. I believe it does integrate with Infusionsoft, and I think one of the advantages here is you can do this A/B split testing in a little more integrated fashion here. So that's another option. So that's kind of landing page options for bringing data into Infusionsoft when people are opting in. Now there are other times when you want to bring data into Infusionsoft. Let's say events. And if you're doing events and you're not familiar with Snap, everyone familiar with Snap? Anyone have a business card on them? We'll just show this one off real quick. Thanks. So we tried to do this before. We'll see if we can get it to happen this time.
This is a free app, right? From Infusionsoft?
Yeah. Snap by Infusionsoft is a free app. There you can see my phone. And so here's my Snap app right here. It's loading a little slowly. So what you do with Snap is you're at events or you're doing whatever, and my phone's on the wireless, and that's what I'm doing, so just for loading a little slow. So you've got your business cards, and you hit the button here, Snap Cards, and what it does is it takes a picture of the business card. So I'm just going to hold this here for a sec, see if it'll load on there. Come on. So anyways, pretend like you're looking at a camera and you can see the business card, and I'm going to take a picture of it. So it takes a picture of the business card, and then it asks you, do you want to retake it or do you want to use it? And you go ahead and hit use. And what happens is it actually sends that picture to some very nice people in India, and they type it all up. And then it comes back to you in a pending state. And if we can get this thing to load, I'll show you what it looks like when it's pending. When it's pending, you can then click on it, and you can make any changes. Say they accidentally typed something wrong, or they couldn't read what was on the card. Then you can change it, and then you can also apply tags. And that person then gets inserted into your Infusionsoft account, tag gets applied, and that can, of course, trigger campaigns. And so you set up ahead of time some campaigns for a different event that you're going to. Set up, I just did this with a client where we set up a handful of different tags. One of the tags was just for the event itself, to set the lead source and to have generic follow-up. And then they have 3 different reps that are at this event. And sometimes the rep, when they talk to someone, they're like, I want that lead. And so we set up 3 more tags that will do assignment by rep. And then also send an immediate email to that person. So they talk to them, they scan their card, and then within a few minutes later it comes back and they process it, and that person gets an email, hey Bob, it was great meeting you, here's my information, stay in contact, whatever. So that's another good example. And then they had a couple of different topics that they wanted to follow up with people on. So based on the topic that the person was interested in, they would apply another tag, and that would of course alter the event follow-up to be specific to that topic. So our wireless here is for some reason just not working well enough to load this. I'm gonna try and redo it here.
So is that Snap by Infusionsoft, or is that?
Yeah, it's Snap by Infusionsoft. It's a free app, and yeah, you just go to, like I said, go to the marketplace. You can see it here. Here, just coming back on. Let's see if it'll work again. Yeah, just go to the marketplace, search for Snap. You can see it there, and that'll just tell you about it because you can't actually download it there. You just go into your App Store or Google Play and download it there. Why is my Reflector app not working? That's weird. Anyways, so that's Snap. So it's really helpful for live situations, events, and things like that. There's also Grow Social, which is an Infusionsoft app. Grow Social is basically a plugin for Facebook. I think they do Twitter now too, right? But the main thing is Facebook. So you can create, Facebook pages to gate content on Facebook and things like that, and then it all integrates with Infusionsoft. So you make it so that when people have to like your page to see certain things, or they have to fill out a form to enter a contest. So Grow Social has contests, like gating, and various different other features you can use, and they're all integrated with Infusionsoft so that when people go through that process, they end up tagged and as a contact in your Infusionsoft as well. So that's really helpful if you're already doing a lot of social stuff. I've noticed people thinking, hey, Infusionsoft has this new Grow Social, I should go sign up for it and try it, and they put it on their Facebook page and they get nothing. And they assume Grow Social stinks. And the truth is, just like throwing up a landing page, unless you're driving traffic to it, it's just not going to do much. So if you don't have already a good social audience there, Grow Social is not going to do anything for you, unless you team up with somebody or you have some other way of kind of driving that traffic. But I have seen some people who've been very successful with it. Really the main advantage just is the fact that it integrates your activity on Facebook with Infusionsoft and allows you to bring those people that are following you on Facebook into your Infusionsoft account and start that follow-up process. Let's see. Another one that I've used a fair amount, which is, in my opinion, kind of exciting. It's been around a little while, but it's still kind of in early stages of getting going with Infusionsoft, is this tool called Zapier. And Zapier, basically what they do is they create integrations with all kinds of stuff. and then in the back end allow you to connect all these different things. And so I had a situation where one of my clients said, you know what, every time someone fills out this form where they ask us questions, I want all of those to end up in a Google spreadsheet. I have no idea why, because I think that's about the worst way to sift through the data, but that's what he wanted. And so he wanted the name, the email address, the phone number, and then the question, as well as the date and time that came through, all on a spreadsheet, and just add a row every time someone comes through. This guy's on TV every night in Australia, and you know, they get a lot of these, so it's just boom, 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 tons of them coming through. And so we used Zapier to connect his Google Docs with his Infusionsoft. And so we were able to make it so that when someone filled out an Infusionsoft form, it automatically inserted the data from that form right into a Google spreadsheet. As you can see, there's just tons and tons and tons of connections. So Box, HubSpot, Evernote, Google Drive, Google Doc stuff, Twitter, you know, MailChimp, Infusionsoft isn't on here, but you know, Gmail. They have, let's see, 300 supported apps. And so you can go through the list here and see. And basically, if it's connected, if it's one of the apps on that list, you can connect it with just about any other app on the list. It's kind of the way they've set up that platform, is to allow you to connect in one way and then connect out another way. And so it's pretty interesting, pretty amazing little platform. Like I said, the integration with Infusionsoft is still, you know, in its early stages to some degree, but it's getting better and better, and they're doing some really, really cool stuff with it. So you can see some of the things they've got here that, you know, kind of pre-set up things. Add Eventbrite attendees to Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft tag added to contact, to Smartsheet, add row to sheet. I don't even know what that means, but apparently people like it. Gmail, new email to Infusionsoft, create contact. So you get a new email in Gmail, and it automatically creates a new contact in Infusionsoft. Wufoo Forms integration, you know, all kinds of things. So here's the types of triggers you can do here. Create new campaign. You see, it's obviously the developers writing this stuff, because no one calls it a new campaign-y. But it's a new contact added to a campaign, right? Or a new opportunity, add a tag, new subscription plan, new company, new subscription, new tag. You know, I mean, you see the list here. They've got hooks into just about everything, different actions over here that you can run. So it's really pretty exciting to think about what might be possible here. Like I said, I've used a little bit integrating with a couple of things, with Google Docs, and then we were also in that same integration connecting with FuseDesk to Google Docs, and I can't remember, there was one other thing. It was Infusionsoft, FuseDesk, and one other thing, all flowing into this Google Docs spreadsheet that he wanted on different tabs. And so different inputs would end up on different tabs of the spreadsheet. So pretty interesting there. I'm going to flip back over here and just look at our comments. I know we got a few people online. If you guys have questions, feel free to jump in and ask your questions there. We've got looks like about 12 people online today. It's funny because in the past we've had like 130 people online, and today 12. Last month here in the office we had, what, 20 people, and wasn't enough room for everybody, and we reconfigured the room with more seats, and now we have, what, 10 people? Isn't that 8? So just the way it goes, I guess. It's summer. Everyone's on vacation. Alrighty. Okay, so Zapier is really kind of fun, in my opinion. Question?
So the one thing done is they just built like a gazillion APIs that plug into all these things, and they just that's like awesome. Yeah,
it's really cool. Yeah, so they've got the API on, you know, each tool, way to get the information, a way to put the information back, right? And then, you know, you just connect one. I got input here and output here, and you just line them up. So it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Do you know the price range on that?
It's pretty cheap. Yeah, let me pull it up here. It's gonna be way down at the bottom. Love how everyone hides their pricing these days. So you can do 5 zaps, 100 tasks per month for free. So 5 zaps is like 5 different connections, and then 100 tasks would be it sends information 100 times on those zaps. But I mean, you can see it jumps up pretty quickly. $15 a month, 20 zaps, 3,000 tasks a month. You know, that's probably going to handle most people. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if that saves you 5 or 10 minutes a day of manual work that you might be doing, transferring data back and forth, it's definitely worth it. You know, and you can imagine, you know, if you're running these kinds of volume, 3,000, 15,000 tasks a month, then $50 a month or whatever is totally worth it. You know, so it's very reasonable. All right, so that is Zapier. Here's another one that's interesting. If you get leads emailed to you. Parsey is a tool that will parse your emails. And so this is very, very common in the real estate industry, where people go to search for homes. They get on some MLS site, and they search a particular zip code and criteria or whatever. And those MLS sites then capture that lead, and they sell those leads to local real estate agents. But all of them, Zillow and all the other ones, just email the data. They don't have APIs. They don't have anything. They just email these emails that say name, first name, last name, phone number, address, the square footage of the home, the price range they're searching. They give all the criteria, and they just email it over. And so Parsey allows you to, what you do is you send it one of those emails, like a test email, and then you go in and you can parse out all the stuff. You say, okay, the first line after the word first name colon, everything after that is the first name. Now on the second line, everything after the word last name colon is the last name. And so you map all the data to the different fields in Infusionsoft, and then you turn it on, and it just starts creating Infusionsoft contacts. And of course, you get all the data that's coming in, collect it into fields and custom fields, and then you can apply a tag and start a campaign or whatever. So it's really cool. I've used this one for clients as well, and I'm tempted to log into each of these tools and show you, but I just think we'll just waste all of our time if I did that. We would not get through all these tools. So that's the list I had for getting data into Infusionsoft. I know there's a bazillion other things. Any other quick ones you guys want to go over that come to mind? No?
I have a question about one.
Yeah.
My deliverability sucks in so many ways I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
And the Outlook app seems to work pretty good, but there isn't one apparently for Gmail.
There is.
Well.
There is.
It
Yeah.
works really well, according to my tech guy, who's my partner.
Yeah, I use the Infusionsoft Sync for Gmail. Works great.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right here.
Perhaps just name Good.
Yeah. So just repeating for online, the question was, he likes the idea of the Outlook sync, but he wanted one for Gmail, and so I recommended the Infusionsoft for Gmail sync, and I use that one. It works fine. Anyone else have any good or bad feedback about that one? No? Okay.
Sorry to express my anger about deliverability.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So I'm interested, though, since you bring up deliverability. So instead of sending these automated emails out of Infusionsoft, you're just...
All the automated stuff, Infusionsoft, other stuff is going through, I'll give you the name of the host here in a moment. It's handling all the public traffic.
So your Infusionsoft emails are doing okay. It's more the stuff you're sending through Outlook? There's not any up in the inbox?
We'll go offline later, but
Okay.
Infusionsoft has maybe having deliverability problems there as well.
Okay.
But it's kind of product.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we can talk offline about deliverability issues for sure.
Tom, we use that Outlook sync like crazy, and that's a great app.
Yeah.
You like the Outlook sync?
We use it all the time. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Add new contacts all the time that aren't in there just from an email coming in. Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's great. For those of you that are not allergic to Microsoft, that works just fine. but for some of us, that's just not going to work. So, the Gmail sync works for me. I, for a long time, used the Apple Mail program, which there isn't a plugin for that. So I would actually keep Gmail open in the background in a browser tab, just so that the Gmail sync could run, and then I'd run all my email out of the Mail app. But my Mail, I think, just got too big for the Mail app. It just blows up every time. So now I just use it out of the browser, Gmail. Okay, let's go to membership sites. You guys are probably all fairly familiar with Customer Hub. Customer Hub is Infusionsoft's own membership site solution. Pros, it's should say fairly easy to use. You know, the interface there allows non-technical people to set up pages and gate content and whatever. But it also, being more easy to use, is not as flexible. So if you're looking for flexibility, Customer Hub is probably not the solution you're looking for. It also resides on the Customer Hub domain. So you end up with a subdomain .customerhub.net. And so if that's a problem for you and you want more control over it, then you'll look at something else. But if you're okay with that, Customer Hub is great. It's great for, you know, drip releasing content. It's great for gating content, setting up various different membership levels. It's great for letting people log in and having teasers for products or for, you know, upgrading their membership level and things like that. You know, if you understand the logic of Customer Hub, you can actually get fairly sophisticated with it. You know, I've done some things in there. It's hard to explain how it works, but you know, really getting dynamic with the content based on what people are doing. Yeah.
It's also really good for managing your building. Like
there you go.
Log in and update their building.
Yeah, great point. So to allow people to log in and update their billing information, Customer Hub is great. Since it is Infusionsoft's own product, they have you know, a little bit tighter integration in some areas, billing being one of them, where people can go in and they can see their various different invoices. They can make payments. If the credit card they have on file is bad, they can add a new credit card and update it and make payments and things like that. And the interface for all that is fairly straightforward and simple. So Customer Hub's a good option there. Another option that I would recommend is iMember360. Now this one is a WordPress plugin. So this is not going to work if you're not using WordPress. If your site is WordPress or you want to fire up a new website using WordPress for the membership, then iMember360 is a good option. This one is probably the one that's been around the longest, I think. So it's the most tried and tested and proven plugin style membership site software. The iMember360 is also, being what it is, you know, very flexible, is also a little bit more technical. You have to understand how to use WordPress shortcodes, how to set up logic using those shortcodes to show and not show content and things like that. You had another comment?
Yeah, just one other thing is I'm also the author of Memberry.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Yep.
I didn't even know if you knew about that.
I do know about it. I'm getting there next. So yeah, it's a really good point. Another very similar option to iMember360 is Memberium. And let me just pull that one up. Memberium. So Memberium.com is how you get to that one. Now, my understanding is, just because I haven't used it, I've looked at it a little bit, is it's very similar in the sense that it's a WordPress plugin, has a lot of the similar types of shortcodes, same flexibility and things like that, right? So what would be, you would know better since you developed it, what would be the pros and cons of iMember360 versus Memberium?
We're a lot faster.
Okay, Memberium's faster.
Yeah.
You're just going to tell us all the pros of Memberium.
I was an iMember360 developer for years and years.
Okay.
We're a little bit faster, actually quite a bit faster. We're a lot lighter on the API.
Okay.
We use a lot of heavy caching. The downside is we don't try and kitchen sink the application.
Yeah.
So if you want one plugin that does every possible thing you can imagine, Google Analytics, Infusionsoft, whatever, we don't do that. Instead, what we do is we integrate with third-party plugins, like Yoast Google Analytics, which is like the best Google Analytics plugin for us. So we integrate with those rather than trying to do it all ourselves.
Got it. So let me just repeat that for the people online. Memberium, faster, lighter on the API, but not quite as full-featured as iMember360 out of the box. But what they've done is integrated Memberium with other proven, established plugins, so you get all the same functionality. Right idea? Something like that. So I'm actually really anxious to try out Memberium. Before Memberium came out, I had already set up our membership site on iMember360, so it didn't make sense for me to tear it all down and switch it over. But I'm sure I'll have another project here soon where I can try it out. It does look very interesting. So those are the three main membership site softwares I'd recommend. There are a couple others just to take a look at. One of those being Kajabi. Now, Kajabi, from what I've seen, I've used it a little bit, and I have been a member in other people's Kajabi sites a little bit more. And so what I've seen there is that the membership site functionality on the back end is not quite as strong. What they have that's a little bit stronger is on the front end, being able to set up sales pages that lead into memberships. And so you can set up like a whole launch style page where you release a video every couple of days for 8 days or something like that, and then it's the order form, and it takes you through the whole launch process, and all of a sudden you're logged in as a member after you buy, and that whole process is smooth. They've got templated pages, and creating that is very easy through Kajabi. But if you get into the membership side and you want to get all fancy with the various different types of gated content and dripping out content and having billing inside there and all those things that you can do within the other membership sites, you're not going to be able to do all those same things. So that's another option there. Okay. Any other thoughts on membership sites?
Hey, Tom?
Yep.
One of the things that we like so much about Customer Hub is that for full pay clients, we set up automatically just do a simple post, HTTP post, to Customer Hub, and it sets up a password automatically, plugs it into the Infusionsoft password field, and then we just pass that on automatically in the campaign to the client who's your login. So it's no answer, no API at all.
Yeah, I think all the membership sites do something similar in the sense that when someone signs up, you can trigger some event to automatically generate a password, email that out to the person, so it's totally smooth. A couple of comments here. Everardo is saying that to run Zapier with Infusionsoft, you need a basic account at least, so maybe that free one won't work. You have to be paying something. I did notice when we were on that page, it did say premium right above Infusionsoft, so I guess you have to be a paying member to use Infusionsoft. John's also asking, have you had experience with Appointment Core? I personally haven't. Is anyone here using Appointment Core? You guys love it? So Tom and Lorraine love it. Anyone else?
I think it's pretty good. I don't love it.
You don't love it, but it's pretty good. Okay, so we got maybe a 3.5 stars out of 5 when we combine both of you guys. John says his Gmail sync shuts off constantly, so maybe that's the problem you've heard of. I don't have that experience. Sometimes it logs me out, and I have to log back in, but I don't have it shutting off all the time. Debbie says her view just keeps repeating over and over and over. Sorry, Debbie. Don't know what to tell you. Everardo just started demo with Appointment Core. So far it's great, but it's lacking one core feature for me right now. Add calendars by URL. Otherwise, it's totally worth their free trial. John says, love Appointment Core. Okay, so some good feedback there. All right, so next on my list was actually email solutions. We've got the Outlook plugin, which is free, and the Gmail plugin, which is free. So the Outlook plugin, how do you find it here? Probably just searching. I'm scared to search anything Microsoft related on my Mac. It might blow up. So this one gets 3 stars. According to the 57 reviews on here, 3 stars out of 5. Gmail Sync is like 2.5 stars out of 5. So they're kind of neck and neck, but maybe Outlook's winning, unfortunately.
Every time I've tried to load that 3 times over the past 5 years.
Yeah.
It always crashes every.
Which one, the Gmail?
No,
the Outlook one. Yeah, I know they had problems initially with various different versions of Outlook. I think the current status is it's supposed to work on just about every current version, but I just don't know. Like I said, I don't allow any Microsoft products on my Mac. But you can see here that on the Gmail plugin, let me pull up one here.
Outlook is really hard to write software. Really hard because there's so many versions. Yeah. Between the versions, they've changed the APIs to develop Outlook software.
So here's how the Gmail plugin works. Here I've got an email from Ryan at Fix Your Funnel. It finds him based on his contact information, pulls up all his details in Infusionsoft. So in the Outlook plugin works the same, right? I mean, I can add tasks and do all that kind of stuff. I can see notes. follow-up sequences, tags, opportunities, etc. Everything's accessible right there. I don't have to do anything manually to record the emails. It should just automatically record the emails into the email history, just by nature of me, using the plugin. But any of the other stuff, of course, I'd have to, if I want to apply a tag, I'd apply a tag here. I generally, truthfully, I don't use the sidebar much. I just leave it running there so that it records the email history. Because I always have another tab open for Infusionsoft, and it's just as quick most of the time for me to just go in there. But that's just me. Maybe I need to get a little more familiar with it and play with it more, force myself to use it.
So I don't think the Outlook plugin automatically records the email.
No, with the Outlook plugin, I think you have to push the button, right? Yeah. Record email, something like that. Which obviously there's some pros and cons to that. Maybe you don't want every single email getting recorded and plugging up all your history. But I personally, I like the fact that I just don't have to worry about it. It just records them all in the background. So pros and cons, pros and cons. All right, let's move on to communication. And I just lumped kind of a whole bunch of stuff in here. It's probably not the best category. But I'm going to pull up Fix Your Funnel. Because if you're looking at doing SMS, Fix Your Funnel is one of the best solutions out there. Now, there's a lot of great solutions, and again, they have their pros and their cons, and depends on what you're trying to do. If you want to do conversational text, Fix Your Funnel is, in my opinion, the best solution out there. So what that allows you to do is, have people text in a keyword, and then it kicks back to them and says, hey, great for doing whatever, what's your name? They reply with their name. Awesome, thanks. We want to send you some stuff by email. What's your email address? And so it gets this conversation going back and forth, and you can control that whole conversation. You can tag people based on what they do and all that kind of stuff. So so that's really nice. The conversational text is really cool. One of the other things they do is when someone doesn't have a keyword that they're texting in, say they just decide to text something in, they think it's a real person, so they're like, hey, buddy, what's going on? You can have a default option that'll just email you whatever they text in, so that you can at least respond to them. Whereas some of the other options, it just goes into a black hole. What else there? Of course, you can do broadcasts and things like that once you have people in there. Another thing, too, that they just added is that you can have it, most of these solutions, if someone tried to call the number that they were being texted by, it would just be a dead end. And they just recently added a solution where if someone calls that number, you can have it route to your phone number so you can pick up the phone. So that's nice. That's nice too. So advantages and disadvantages. Depends on how you look at it, pros and cons here, but Fix Your Funnel gives you a full phone number, a full local phone number, right? I've talked to Ryan about this. He says that data shows that people are more likely actually to engage with a full phone number. Which seems weird to me because I don't like typing a full phone number. I'd rather use a short code. And so if any of you are familiar with, I actually created the first SMS integration back in end of 2008, 2009. It's called Infusion SMS, and we used what was back then called MobiMark, which is now, what did they turn into? Can't remember. But they would give you a 6-digit short code. At the time, it was 411247. So it was like info 24/7. 411247, and then you do your short code and do the whole thing back and forth. So it really depends on what you're doing. I would probably say if you're at an event on stage, use a short code because you want it like as easy as possible. But Ryan would probably tell you use a full phone number, and I think he's got some data to probably support that. But also he's got a product he's trying to sell. Ryan and I share office space. We're good friends, so.
I use both. We used to have a platform to use a short code.
Okay.
What I like about Ryan's approach to have that local phone number is you have an infinite number of keywords you can use.
That's true.
If you have a short code, you're limited. If somebody else got your
keyword
you wanted, it's gone.
That's a very, very good point. When you're using short codes, you have to buy keywords. And if the keyword's already gone, you can't buy it. And every one you want to buy is like an extra $50. And when you have your own local phone number, use unlimited keywords. Yeah, really good point. That's a huge advantage.
Change them on the fly.
Yeah, you can change them all the time, do whatever you want.
Well, short code can be extraordinarily expensive to use sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're using one of these services, you don't have to pay for the short code itself unless you want your own. And then they are very expensive. But you're basically renting keywords on that short code. It's the way that the others work. So
I'm a big fan of Fix Your Funnel. I give it 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. All right, 5 stars all around.
Yes.
5 stars all around for Fix Your Funnel. Another option is Call Loop. Call Loop, in my understanding anyways, is they don't yet have the conversational text, but they do have a good, smooth, text integration with Infusionsoft. So if you're just looking for basic texting, Call Loop's an option there. That's probably it on SMS. There's other SMS integrations. I really don't think it's worth our time going through a whole bunch of them. Let's look at webinar stuff. Obviously, there's GoToWebinar out there if you're doing live webinars. And if you're doing a lot of live webinars with GoToWebinar, then I would recommend Plus this for their GoToWebinar integration. In my experience, and I've used a bunch of different integrations. I actually created one when I was at Infusionsoft because we did webinars every single week. And their integration is the strongest in terms of full access through the GoToWebinar API. And so it will get registrants, and then after your webinar is over, it runs on a cron, I think. It happens, after it's over, it goes back after a certain amount of time, pulls out all the people that attended, and can tag those people, run whatever campaigns that you want, things like that. So plus this, I think it's $37 a month at the basic level, and you get your GoToWebinar integration there. Now, a lot of people, myself included, have moved away from GoToWebinar in favor of free online solutions like Google Hangouts, and then you've got things like Webinar Jam. So I use Webinar Jam. Those of you that are attending this user group meeting online are doing it through Webinar Jam. Webinar Jam, I don't know if they're still doing the same pricing because it still says offer expires soon. It's been like that for the last couple months. But it's like a couple $100, like $200 or $300, one-time fee for Webinar Jam. So it works with Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts are free. $200 or $300 for this, and you're good. You never pay again. Where with GoToWebinar, obviously you're paying every single month, and if you want like 500 people or more, it starts to get really, really expensive on your webinars. Scott?
Does this work pretty well?
Yeah.
In my opinion, it has worked really well, except for I've been doing some webinars with one of my clients where, I set it up, the client is presenting, and then they have a guest presenter, and for whatever reason, when I start up the webinar and they try and log in through their presenter links, they can't. It says the party is over. And so what I do in those situations is I come here and I just add them manually through Hangouts. It gets them in and they can be presenters. The only drawback to doing that is they don't have access to the Webinar Jam sidebar, and so they can't see the questions. I just have to read them the questions and things like that. So I don't know why that's happening. It's happened like the last 4 or 5 times we've done it. But when I've been using Webinar Jam for like these meetings and things like this, I like it a lot. It's great. It automatically records it to your YouTube channel, so the recording's automatic, and then you can just go and trim off the ends and do whatever you want with it in YouTube. But yeah, I mean for Hangouts being free, I think it's a pretty cool solution. Yeah. If I were paying for it, I'd probably be pretty frustrated with some of the things because you're paying for it.
And that's what we're gonna do for one of our clients that sells hearing aids. So I needed the simplest solution possible because it's going to be seniors and not really technology, so I just need it's like a one button.
I would probably say Webinar Jam is not the most simple, but neither is GoToWebinar either, right? It probably is a tad more simple.
Does Plus this have an Adobe Connect plugin? No.
I don't think so.
Because that's a real simple.
That's a good simple.
Yeah, for a user,
That's
the best.
really simple from a user standpoint.
Yeah, that's what the user standpoint.
Go to webinar, there's a lot of setup for registration.
Yeah.
Go to meeting, click, and
Why don't we just do that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say if you're looking for simplicity, GoToWebinar, GoToMeeting. In my opinion, they're still not that simple, but they're probably a little simpler. And if people have ever done a webinar before online, they have probably used GoToWebinar, so the chance that they're already familiar with it is greater. Where I've had people, with Webinar Jam, it's the same thing we were experiencing with GoToWebinar 5 years ago. It's like, I can't log in. What's the problem here? You guys are terrible. All comes. Yeah. And if you're working with an older crowd, GoToWebinar is probably a better option because they can dial in on the phone. Yeah, no, seriously, this client that I work with, you guys have heard me talk about them before, Cavallo, they do hoof boots for horses, and a lot of their clientele are out in the sticks. They ride horses. And so they may not be on the computer, they may not have internet access. They dial in on these webinars a lot. And with Webinar Jam, you don't have that option. They just have to be connected on the computer. So let's see here.
Can I go back, sorry?
Yeah.
That might be a great solution, is that even if they can't get online, they'll just still dial up and stream the audio.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and that's what they do. One thing you have to be aware of with those, though, is if they don't enter their audio PIN, GoToWebinar can't control their audio, therefore they don't get muted when they first log in. So you have to have someone, like when I work with my clients on this stuff, I usually have them like presenting, and I'm like running interference. And so I'm in there watching all the time. If someone logs in on the phone, mute them. Mute them, mute them, and it's like a constant. You have to be constantly vigilant during the webinar to make sure you're muting those people, because all of a sudden you'll just hear background noise. You'll hear Sammy barking in the background. You know, stuff will be happening, and you don't know why. You know, the first time we did it, my client was like, "Where?" All of a sudden she's like, "Where's that noise coming from?" Like right in the middle of the webinar. And so, and I was actually driving at the time, so I was dialed in on my phone, and so I just jumped in and I said. Excuse me, this is the webinar moderator. Those of you that are dialed in, you know, please mute your phone or something like that. It's kind of silly, but things you do. GoToWebinar records in their own proprietary codec, which is a pain in the neck. Yeah, so do it on a Mac. Because they don't have like the same proprietary codec on a Mac, and it's much easier. It comes out like in QuickTime format or something, and you can edit it much easier. But also, there is a setting in GoToWebinar where you can record it in a different format. I think is someone else more familiar with it? It's been a couple years since I've used GoToWebinar. There's a place where you can change that setting, right? And
what it does is once you're done with recording, it sits there.
Yeah, it converts it to more like an MP4 or something like that you can edit anywhere. But yeah, in my opinion, I hate GoToWebinar's recording stuff because you always end up having to mess with this with the recording on the back end. And that's one of the reasons I like Webinar Jam, is because it's just done. Like as soon as we close this thing out, it's recorded, it's live on my YouTube channel.
I was just doing a webinar in the early days when you got $100 a month, you got 1,000 attendees. I don't know when they changed that. And they limited $100 a month to 100 attendees. And for over 100, it's $500.
$500.
It's really expensive.
Yeah, it gets very expensive now.
Every time they drop the prices, and they
yeah.
This is the corporate side. Yeah.
Yeah, they're obviously going for that corporate audience. That's the majority of their users. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's move on here then. Get back to our screen share. Should just point the camera outside. I mean. Really, who wants to look at the screen or us, right? Okay, webinars. Let's stick on webinars. So we got Stealth Seminar.
Yeah.
Big fans in here. I have not used Stealth Seminar personally since I was at Infusionsoft, but when I was at Infusionsoft, we used it a ton, and I loved it, and I know they've gotten a lot better. Tom and Lorene use it religiously. So Stealth Seminar is great for two things. One, being automated webinars. So you do a live webinar, you record it, then you put it in the Stealth Seminar, and you can set up pages where people can sign up for what they think are live webinars. And there's, you can change up the schedule, so maybe it only happens once, maybe it happens, twice a week on a certain schedule. You want to show them only the first, the next 2 available webinars on the forum, things like that. You can control all those things. They sign up, they get the automated emails, reminders telling them when the webinar is going to be. They click the link at the right time, they log in, they see the webinar. You can have calls to action. What's cool about Stealth Seminar is their Infusionsoft integration is very strong. So you tag people when they register, you tag people when they log in, you can tag people after a certain amount of watching the webinar, 3 of those, unless they've added more. So I usually did them like a quarter way into it, a halfway into it, 3/4 the way into it. You can tag them when they see the offer. You can tag them if they get all the way to the end of the webinar. And so then, of course, you set up a campaign that talks to those people appropriately based on how much of the webinar they saw. And so that's really cool. One of the things they've added recently is the ability to do live or to do a recorded webinar, and then you step in at the end live and do live Q&A. Have you actually run that? Have you done it?
Not yet.
Not yet. But yeah, they have that feature, right? They have that ability. Yeah, it's like a hybrid webinar. So that's really nice if you want that live feeling, so people feel like they're getting the real responses, live questions, but you don't have to deliver the same webinar every week, 3 times a week or whatever. Just let the recording run, then you hop in at the right time to do the live Q&A. Okay? So Stealth Seminar, very cool. Yeah.
They also added a live seminar option if you have a Ustream account.
Yeah, if you have Ustream, you can integrate it and do just fully live webinars, right? Yeah.
Google Hangouts or Google.
They had Hangouts? Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I haven't used it personally in a while, so I'm not familiar with all their latest stuff, but I knew they had Ustream, and if they have Hangouts now, then that's great. Yeah, you got it right here, Hangouts on Air integrations for live webinars.
So we got it is a little pricey.
Yep.
I think the main application is, I think, $60 or $70. Then if you want the Infusionsoft add-on, which you need, is another $60 or $70. So it's like $130, and then if you have the Ustream, that's another $100. So it's certainly up there.
Yeah, the pricing is not the cheapest. So $130 a month, just basic Infusionsoft integration, and then if you want to do Ustream, it's more. Cool. Great.
Hey, can I gripe just for a second, actually?
Yep.
You know, because I love all these apps, and we need to buy this and that. Next thing you know, you look at your
right.
credit card, like $700 a month.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I feel the same way sometimes. You know, you get Infusionsoft, you're paying $300 a month for Infusionsoft, and then you're like, oh, well, I want to do this and that and the other, and all of a sudden you add all that stuff up, and you're paying another, $1,000 a month for all the tools. And so I tend to be, personally, I tend to be a little cheap. And I'll only buy something if I know, like, I'm going to use it, I'm going to get the most out of it, whatever. Otherwise, I'll look for a free solution. I may use someone like my own developer or hire someone to develop a solution. One-time cost to me is usually better than ongoing fees. So yeah, I mean, there's ways around some of this stuff, but sometimes, like if you're going to do a lot of recorded webinars, automated webinars, Stealth Seminar I think is worth it. If you're selling on the webinars and you can sell more than $130 each time, then it's worth it. So one other one that you guys have maybe heard me talk about before is Dialogger, even though that looks like Delogger. So just a little backstory here. This used to be Question Mine, and the guys at Question Mine asked me a couple years ago, hey, can you help us promote this? We think we have really cool technology. I looked at it and said, oh, it's a cool idea, but it's not quite there yet. They worked on it. A couple years later, they came back. I said, oh, yeah, actually, that's pretty cool. So first thing I told them was, Question Mine's a terrible name. Let's change the name. They said, no, we can't. It's built on that platform. It's stuck, whatever. And so we did a whole launch where I called it Momentum Videos because I just thought that was a much better name. And then the launch was over, and I didn't talk to them much. And all of a sudden, I go to the site, and they've changed it to Delogger. And I'm like, come on, people. Like, Question Mine was bad. Delogger is 10 times worse. I talked to the founder. I'm like, Delogger, come on. What's with Delogger? He's like, no, it's Dialogger. I'm like, no, it says Delogger on the screen.
Friday after work, I like Deloggers.
Yeah, Deloggers on Friday after work. I don't drink Deloggers, but I get you. All right, cool. So what it is, it's actually very cool technology. They just have no idea what to call it, obviously. What it is it's a video hosting platform that allows you to make interactive videos. And so at any point you want in the video, you can insert a web form right in the video player. You can do surveys in the video player. You can do branching the same way we do with campaigns in Infusionsoft. So I've set it up where in the video you ask them, are you a local service business? Are you a retail business? Are you an e-commerce business? They select a radio option right there in the video player, and then it plays a video appropriate to which option they chose. And so it's like choose your own adventure within the video player. And it's very, very cool because you can get the messaging in your video to be very tailored based on what they tell you, and then also the integration with Infusionsoft is strong. And so every time they select an option, go down a different rabbit hole or whatever, you're tagging them in Infusionsoft. You're collecting all that data. If they fill out forms, you got that data in Infusionsoft. They're selecting radio options. That can be tags or custom fields or anything in Infusionsoft. They've lowered the price. It was way too expensive. So $37 is the basic, and the way they limit it is 4,000 minutes of video and content interaction, 10 gigabytes of storage. So for your average business that might have like 2 or 3 videos on their site, that's enough. Now, if you're doing a whole bunch of different videos, you're creating like video sales funnels all the time, then you're going to need something more like the $147 option. But if you just kind of have your standard videos that are always out there, and there's a few of them, the solo option is going to work well. Okay. So it is very, very cool technology. What I'll do here is I will christianmind.com/videos. I don't know if they've changed the URL here or not.
Oh, is that the company that presented maybe a couple years ago that we thought they showed a video, you would answer something in the video, and then it would immediately play another video based on that response? Is that what this is?
No. What they did with that was they were actually using YouTube, and in YouTube you can put links in your video. So it was just linking from one video to another, which is cool, but the problem with that, there's 2 problems with that. One is it's reloading a page every time. It's going to a new page, a new video, right? The other problem is it's not integrated with Infusionsoft, so you're not tracking what they're doing, what they're clicking each time. You're not tagging them and adapting the messaging, whatever. But you can set up the same kind of experience on the front end in terms of kind of choose your own adventure. It's just not doing any integrated stuff on the back end. So just I was trying to find an old link to Question Mind stuff, and it's just not gonna happen. I don't remember what the links are. But anyways, if you look up Question Mind, there's got to be a link out there somewhere. Yeah. Trying to remember what the names of those videos were. If I remembered, I'd be able to find the URL here. I can't remember. That's the right directory, and then I just can't remember the URLs there. But maybe I'll look those up. I'll send an email to you guys, and then you can check it out. It's pretty cool. I really like it. It's just they need a better name. So that's Dialogger. Okay, let's go on to stuff that helps you sell. Couple of things here that we'll take a look at. We'll go back to Fix Your Funnel. Fix Your Funnel has the best one-click upsell integration out there. So if you want to do one-click upsells, just go to one-click upsell script on Fix Your Funnel. Right now, they sell the script itself, which you download and install on your server, $694, one-time fee. I know Ryan is moving in the direction of having this be more of a web service where he hosts it, you use it, you pay a monthly fee. The problem he's running into is so many people have downloaded this over the years, and then they don't necessarily update it, and then they have problems, and they're always calling him, and so that way he can just keep it updated, and it's cheaper out of the gates and things like that. So he's moving that direction, but it's very, very cool in the sense that you can set up, on the back end of the cart or an order form or whatever, you have a one-click upsell, you can have downsells, and you can set up the chain, as many options as you want. So they go upsell, and then if they buy that one, they get another upsell. They buy that one, they get another upsell. If they stop at any point and they say no thanks, it goes to a downsell. So you can branch those things all over the place. And of course, it's all integrated with Infusionsoft, tags them, creates orders, processes credit cards. So you may have seen in the past, I have published in a couple different places different solutions for one-click upsells. And a lot of other people have talked about this method as well, which is using an action set inside of Infusionsoft, because in action sets you can create an order. As long as you have a credit card on file, you can create an order on the back end and charge that card, right? The problem with that, the big problem is, someone comes, they order through an order form, say they buy a $9 thing, right? And that's your like initial tripwire, and then you want to get them on a couple $100 product next, and you have that be a web form with hidden fields. They click the button, it creates an order on the back end. Okay, creates an order on the back end. It does not process right away. It processes those orders on a cron, which is like every hour, I think, and it actually depends on how you have it set up. What's that? It can be up to 6 hours. Yeah, and if you haven't changed your default settings, then it could be actually longer than that, because you can go in and choose which hours of the day you want those things to process on. But it doesn't happen right away, so that's a problem. It's a bigger problem because what if their credit card maxes out on that $200 charge? Then you don't know, but meanwhile, they've gone through the process, they now have access, they're downloading, they're using, they're doing whatever you want. And then you got to go back to someone and, hey, say sorry, your credit card's maxed out, return the thing, or we're not going to give you access, or whatever it was, And so I've used that method a fair amount in the past. It does cause some occasional problems, but it's actually quick and easy and doesn't cost anything. This is a far better method, in the sense that it will process the order right then and there. If there's an error on that credit card, it comes back and tells them the error and gives them an option to figure out ways to get around it, enter a new card or whatever. And so it handles the whole process very smoothly, and that's a great option there. So
this doesn't use your merchant account?
It does. It does. It processes the order through Infusionsoft through the API. Okay. So it does all that, but it gets a response back immediately, and if it's good, it takes them to the next step. If it's bad, it says, hey, sorry, there's a problem with your card. And so it's the best option out there for one-click upsells.
Forward to a web page with your instructions?
Yeah. Basically, you just put in the URLs of where you want it to go for those different options. Yeah, and as they click them, they'll get tagged. So if someone clicks the downsell option, they get tagged for choosing that downsell option, and so it's all fully integrated with Infusionsoft.
That's a one-time fee. That's it.
Yeah, one-time fee, $6.94. Yep. And if you want to buy it, I'll send you my affiliate link. Yeah, Scott.
I don't really know what a one-click upsell is.
Okay, yeah. So that's a really good question. Should have explained that. So one-click upsell is they go through the cart process or an order form where they put in all their information and they buy. Right? On the thank you page, we already have their credit card on file. So there's no reason to send them back to an order form to get them to buy something else. So we just have a button that says, hey, if you'd like to add, it's like, do you want to add fries to your order, right? So you've bought this. Do you want this other thing that's complimentary, that's also a great offer, and all you have to do is hit the button. So just boom, add to my order. And so it's one click. One click, it processes the order. It's done, over, good to go. They don't have to take any extra steps. So it's really easy for the end user to make that decision and just hit the button. It's so easy that actually when you run one-click upsells, you get a handful of people that are like, oh, I didn't really mean to do it. I was just checking to see what would happen. We get that. we get that happening a lot, and then you just process a refund on those people or whatever.
You can see like a 40% lift.
Yeah.
On that upsell. Sure. When they hit that, because they're already in the buying mode, they're already saying, yes, it's fresh, I trust you. And boom, they hit that. It's if they're not doing it, they're missing out on that. That's huge.
Yep. Yeah, it's a really good point. And what I've seen, both with my own tests and talking to a lot of people in this industry, is that fairly standard, you'll get about 30% of people that buy one thing will take the upsell. And then of those people, another 30% will take the next upsell. And it'll continue on 30% forever, as long as the offers are related in the right way. Okay, so if you go like $1 offer to $10,000 offer, you're not going to get 30%, right? But if you go with your standard kind of $10, $30 something, and you go to like $100 something dollars, and you go to like $400, and kind of keep going up in that kind of way, and it's all related to the same topic. The typical way is buy some small information, buy a limited service, buy the done-for-you service, right? So you buy the ebook on such and such, and it's like, oh, buy this course where we'll teach you more about it, and then we'll just do it for you. And so when you have integrated offers like that, it tends to work really well, and you do get about 30% conversion every time.
Well, the idea is, though, they're buying, you're charging their credit card.
Yeah.
And then, oh, by the way, you probably want this.
Yep.
And then charge it again.
Yeah.
It's not like Amazon where you just like click it and just do it one time.
Yeah, good point. It creates a separate order every single time. People have created solutions where it will actually not process the order until the very end, So you actually are like kind of adding to cart every time. I don't like that option at all because what if they leave? You know, and then you get either I've seen two different ways where that's been done with solutions. One is if they leave, I'm just going to charge the card at the point that they leave. But what if they didn't want it, right? The other part is if they leave, then I'm going to put them in a sequence that's going to follow up and try and get them to commit. But then you lose a sale, in my opinion. So I think this is the best way to do it, where you get the money up front, and then you try and get the money again, and then you try and get the money again. So.
Yeah. Talk about a downsell too. The downsell, if I'm not mistaken, by definition, if they don't buy
the
first time, you try to sell them something less. How does that work?
That's right. So the downsell option is, let's say I'm selling $9 ebook, right? $9 ebook on how to use the campaign builder. They buy that, then they go to, hey, I'm going to send you this DVD kit on how to use the campaign builder even better, right? And so that's going to be $197. Buy this. And then right below the button for buy now or add to cart or whatever, you have another little option. No thanks, I'll pass, right? Or whatever you want to say there. They click that, and now it goes to, hey, I understand, maybe you don't need all the DVDs, and $197 is kind of expensive. I'll give you all of that same content that's on the DVDs, just online. I won't mail you the DVDs. I'll just give you the videos, for $77 or whatever. And then that's their downsell offer. Yeah.
They gotta buy something first, though, to start the season.
Yeah, they have to buy something first. So you want to start that with a lower cost offer to get them into the process. And then you keep working them with the various different offers. Okay, so fix your funnels, one-click upsell, really good option there. And then another option, if you're doing any kind of like online retail sales in a serious way, one thing I would definitely recommend checking out is Revenue Conduit. So as you all probably have realized, Infusionsoft is not the best solution for like high volume retail sales. Managing a whole bunch of products inside Infusionsoft is not very easy. It's just not a great solution for that. It never was built for that. And so there are a lot of other solutions out there. Here's a handful of them right here: Magento, Shopify, BigCommerce, Volusion, etc., that are great for high volume retail. And so what Revenue Conduit does is it integrates Infusionsoft with each of those solutions in a very, very good, seamless way. And so you use Magento or one of these other solutions for your cart. You connect it to Infusionsoft with Revenue Conduit, and that makes sure that all the data comes into Infusionsoft, you're triggering the right campaigns, and doing all the things you normally do with the Infusionsoft cart, but you're just using a better cart for what you're doing. So
do things like Magento, does that have like built-in like one-step upsell?
Some of them do. I'm not familiar enough with Magento to tell you yes it does or no it doesn't, but a lot of these do. Solutions that are sold as e-commerce solutions, I'd say probably 75% or more of them do already. That's pretty standard. So yeah, I'd look into it and see. Let's see. Let's just do a quick search. There's someone asking for a web programming job to program a one-click upsell for Magento. There's automatic upsells, Magento Connect. So it looks like it's an extension to do it. So yeah, maybe it's not built in. But yeah, like I said, if you're doing real retail sales, it's often better to get one of these other shopping cart solutions and then integrate it with Infusionsoft, with Revenue Conduit. They've done a good job just kind of integrating with all the major players out there for e-commerce solutions.
And it works really smoothly.
Yeah. They're getting really good feedback, good results, everything. So, all right, reporting. HipDash. That's what we want to talk about, right? Didn't you develop this one too?
No.
No? I thought you developed like everything out there. There's one you developed though, right? A reporting tool.
I did the integration for Chris Cannell's.
Oh, that's right. What's it called again? Oh, you integrated it.
It's on his digital marketing site.
Okay. Well, HipDash, if you're not familiar with this one, it's pretty cool in the sense that, here, let's go back to the homepage because that was showing little screenshots. It gives you this little dashboard widget things. And there's a whole methodology for what these little boxes are. It's like the main number inside, and then one's like a 1 month number, and then it's like, I can't remember. Yeah, all-time high and the low and those types of things. And then you click on it and you get this and you get the graphs and things like that. So that's a decent option if you're just looking for some basic reporting there. All right.
Sorry, because this seems really cool actually, because you know the little box of stats.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, but there's limitations. Like
Yep.
it doesn't do date ranges. There's
Right.
and you can only do 10 of them. And so does this kind of cover some of those?
Yeah, you can see barely right there. There's a little drop down, so you can change different date ranges and things like that. So yeah, it definitely does give you a little more flexibility, a little more power than the little box of stats.
And there's this integrated Infusion.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they were at InfusionCon promoting it all over the place. It definitely integrates.
It's really pretty. It's a good looking.
Yeah, pretty.
Dashboard.
Yeah.
But we used it right at Infusionsoft to try it for like their $1 special. I really liked it. But this is too expensive for what it did.
Yeah, what was the cost?
It's $100 a month.
Yeah, $100 a month.
That was the Infusionsoft special. They said it was normally $197.
Oh, yeah, it's just too much. $29 a month.
Yeah, 97 a month is what they're selling it at. So yeah, that seems a little pricey to me as well.
Great platform. They dropped the price.
But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Just maybe not the right price range for a lot of people. Chris.
It's a digital marketing funnel.
How do you spell his name? It's like KHOEL or something.
KOEHL.
It's digitalmarketingfunnels.com/sales-dashboard.
This dashboard.
Okay, so digitalmarketingfunnels.com sales-dashboard, and this is this an Adobe Air app?
No.
No.
It's a web-based app.
It's a web-based app, so it runs in your browser and gives you all kinds of charts and funnels and all kinds of stuff, which is pretty cool. Do you want to tell us the pros and cons of this one? You're obviously more familiar with it than we are.
Honestly, I don't know of any. It's a pretty decent little system. It's not hard to set up. I haven't worked with it a whole lot. I just really didn't know.
Okay.
It's good system.
It's cool?
Yeah.
It must be cool since you worked on it. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I guess that brings us to some of the tools that we have. I'll just run through them. I know we went through some of them last time, but we'll go through them real quick. We just added 5 new tools this week, and so we've got some pretty exciting stuff. I'm going to log out of this one because I'm logged in as the admin, and WordPress doesn't like it when I'm logged in as the admin. All right, so here's the tools that we have. We've got weekly metrics tracking, which actually is more of a manual system. Every week you come in and you enter in your metrics, and we can pull a lot of this data from Infusionsoft, and I've gone back and forth on should we pull it for them or not, and I've decided against it because I want people, our clients, our members, I want them looking at the numbers every single week. It's a forcing function to look at those numbers. But once you have them all entered, you can see that I haven't been entering them diligently, mainly because it's just kind of a testing thing for me, this account. But you click on the metrics dashboard, and it'll show you all of your key metrics for your business that you're entering every week. And you can reorder these. You drag them, say I want this one over here and this one over there. You put them in whatever order you want, and they'll stay in that order. You can create. There's these ones with the dark blue are your standard metrics, and then these ones are custom metrics that you can add. You can add as many custom metrics as you want. And then you've got the tag by date tool, which kind of integrates with this. So tag by date, if you're serious about reporting, then what you need to do is start tagging people in the right way. And we're actually going to be coming out with some training soon on how to do this. You tag people for various different things in the right way, and then the tags when tags are applied, they have a date stamp with them. You just can't search based on those dates in Infusionsoft. So this tag by date report allows us to pull that data, and that's interesting. Has 0 people. It allows you to pull that data in the date range that you choose. It gives you the total number, and then it graphs it over time. And then what we added recently was this little link here. You can add this tag to your weekly metrics. So that little weekly metrics dashboard that I just showed you, it'll automatically add that particular metric to your dashboard and keep it in there. So that one's kind of cool. Math Acrobat we went over last time, which is basically just doing simple math type stuff. So if you want to count, how many times someone logs into your membership site, or you want to, count how many times they click links, or it's not just counting. You can do all kinds. Any math function you can think of: adding, subtracting, dividing, multiplying, and you can build out those functions really elaborately. Then that's kind of fun. We added this quick order form this week. So if you process orders offline, you take orders over the phone, or you go to events and you come home with stacks of order forms, then this is perfect because if you've ever processed an order in Infusionsoft, it's like a bazillion steps. And you click different things and open windows and stuff all over the place. So here you just start typing someone's name. If they're already in the database, it'll do an AJAX search and find them. And so here I am. It'll load all my information there. I can edit it, of course. And then I can start adding products. Well, this person wants to buy the intensive, or double your sales intensive. So our internet seems to be running a little slow today, doesn't it? So we can add that, and then you can adjust the price. So say I want to give them the same InfusionCon offer, $4,997. I can adjust the quantity, all those types of things. I'll give them the Entrepreneur's Freedom Formula course as well. Home study course, there we go. And so you can continue adding products, whatever. And then if I want to give them a payment plan, you say, well, I want them to put $1,500 down. Initial payment date is today. We'll start the payment plan a month from today. You guys all know the hotkeys in Infusionsoft, right? I'm going to bring these up every single time we talk about date fields in Infusionsoft. So anytime you're in a date field in Infusionsoft, go ahead and hit the letter I, and it'll show you what all the hotkeys are. Okay? I'm not going to go over all of them right now because they're really easy to remember. T for today, right? Just click inside the field. T for today. That gets you started. H goes back a month. Why? Because H is the last letter in the word month.
That's not easy.
Okay? Yeah, it is. H. H, last letter in the word month. It goes back a month. M goes forward a month because it's the first letter in the word month. Okay? So I just went T, and then I go H. Right? I'll do T, and then this one I did T and M because I want to go forward a month. And I'll let them break it up into 5 payments, and days between payments, 30 payments, or 30 days. And then what's cool is that we made it so that it speaks normal English to you. So the customer will be charged $1,500 on this date, and 5 additional payments of that amount will be charged automatically every 30 days starting on that date. So then you can read it and say, yeah, that's what I want. Because like, if you've ever done it in Infusionsoft, sometimes you're like, well, I don't know, is that going to charge them like the first payment and the second payment today, or is it not? It's really confusing. I think you're right. Yeah, a couple $1 million, they should just buy it. So you can add order notes, and then of course you got all your payment information, and then you can choose your invoice template. So any email template that you have that has the word invoice or receipt in it will come up in this list. So you have different invoice templates for different products and different things, right? So you can choose the one you want, and then you can run either action sets on success or failure, or tags. Actually, you can do them all. Tags, and then campaign API calls. Well, then you just process order. And then it tells you success or failure, and then you come back and do another one. So you just, like, we did all of our icon orders the night we sold them using this tool. You just bang them out, done.
Invoice templates.
Yeah.
Can you change the graphics on the invoice template to match the event that you did?
Yes. Yes. Let me.
You did a special event at school, say.
Yeah.
And you could like use the logo of the tool or whatever you want.
Yeah. Let me show you here.
Online something about it. Oh, it's summer, so change all your graphics to a summer format.
Yeah. Just go to your templates, your email templates. Search for invoices. You'll find your default invoice template. Take that guy, open it up, and then come to the bottom and clone it. I'm not going to clone it right now. But then once you clone it, you can see all this stuff where it merges in like all the actual purchase information. Those are just merge fields. So come up here, you can change out the logo, graphics, whatever you want. You can change anything above and below that table. As long as you don't mess up this table, you're fine. Yep. So you can see, like, I put in all my information about send checks here, wire money here. I just want to make sure they can get me the money. As long as they know how to get me the money, we're good. Okay.
Does that look as change or is that locked in?
That stays there. We're not changing that. Actually, I need to change it to a different bank account now. But yeah, so the quick order form just makes it really nice. You know, if you're taking orders over the phone or any of that kind of stuff, it's just super smooth. You can, like I said, you can adjust prices, quantities, all that kind of stuff on the fly. Oh, I forgot to do affiliates too. So if you're doing affiliates, you just add your lead affiliate and your sale affiliate right there on the fly. So, you know, I want this guy to be the lead affiliate. I want this guy to be the sale affiliate. There you go. And if I want to take them off, I just X them out. Take out products. That would be awesome. So there we go. That's the quick order form. Print invoices and packing slips. So I think we went over this one before. This one actually allows you to modify. So if you're doing shipping, if you're shipping your own stuff, then you'll need to print either an invoice or a packing slip or something to go in the box. And again, in Infusionsoft, look up the order, open the order, scroll the bottom of the page, click the invoice thing, it opens up, then print it, and that's just one of them. What if you have 50 orders that day? And it takes forever. And so what we do is we just pull up all your recent orders, and you can select the ones you want. I'll just do a couple so that you can see. And then you hit print invoices. The only difference between invoices and packing slips is invoices has all the cost information in there. Packing slips is literally just for the person picking and packing, so they see the products and the quantities. It doesn't have the cost information on there. Whoa, that's a problem. What happened? Looks like we got some work to do there. But what it's supposed to do is it generates a PDF and puts each individual invoice on a separate page. Then you just print once, and it prints all of them.
I think we saw that last time.
It was working last time. Somebody broke it. What's weird is, it looks like the URL. No, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But we have, I'll go back to the page here because you can configure it, you know, with your company information there, your logo. You can put a URL or upload your logo, and then you can change it. I want rounded corners, yes or no. You can change the color, text, color, you know, what currency you're using, and a little custom message. So it kind of creates a custom invoice or packing slip there. And then down here under scripts, we've got a bunch of stuff. ROI tracker, that's our lead source tracking script. Form validator. So, I mean, what's that?
Those are up there now?
Yeah, they're all in there. So form validator, you know, like if someone fills out a form and they forget one of the fields, it takes you to this ugly page where it's like, oh, you forgot pages, right? Or you forgot fields. So form validator just does this. Hey, please provide valid information for first name and email. So you put in a name. If you put in an email but it's not like a valid format, please provide valid information for email. So it knows if it's a good email or not, and then it lets you through if it's good. So that's what the form validator does. Where did we go here? Geolocator. So you know, when people fill out your forms where you're not asking for address, but you still want to know where they are, by IP address we can look it up and determine their city, state, and country. And so you can just store that information into, by default we tell you in the tool to store it into the other address, because you have a billing address, you have a shipping address, and you have an other. Infusionsoft doesn't by default use the other address for anything. So we say just use that one. So you can choose here. You can have it go into billing if you want, or shipping, or optional. Optional, I should say, is what it's called. But if it goes into one of those other ones, it's going to override data. So we don't want you doing that. If you have a real physical address that they've given you for mailing, you don't want to change that. So just use the optional address. We're actually going to add on here too, so you can add custom fields. So you can just use whatever fields you want. But it'll grab city, state, country, and then you know, if you're promoting a local event, or you only want to promote to people in Alaska or something, you can go and search on those fields and find people in those areas. So,
how do you do that?
if I told you the secret, you wouldn't buy my stuff, Scott. No, Scott. The truth is, it's a free API that we're using. I can't remember which one, but if you search like geolocation by IP address, there's a handful of APIs out there that are just free, and you just sign up for like a free account with them, and we just ping them the IP address. They spit back the data.
How accurate is it?
It's like 80% accurate, something like that. You know, it's not right every time, and particularly down to the city level. You know, country's generally going to be right. State's generally going to be okay. City level, you know, it's oftentimes going to be off. Because particularly when you're using like big conglomerate ISPs, you know, so if you're on like Verizon or something, you know, they might have some big hub over in San Clemente, and we're here at Dana Point, and so it's going to code us in San Clemente. You know, those kinds of things happen, but generally you're.
But some people like regionally.
Yeah, really, you're pretty regionally. Now you all got those wacky people that are like afraid of everything, conspiracy theories, so they like hide their IP address and mask it, and like I'm really here at Dana Point, but it shows them in Monaco. You know? It's all the same. Yeah, whether you're on your phone or your computer, it's picking up and it's going through your local ISP, unless you're using something that's like masking your IP address. Yeah. Cool. And then the last one here is a SIM manager. So this is basically like, you know, you send people all or nothing, right? So with subscription manager, you go in, you create a tag category, call it whatever you want. I call it email subscriptions, and then put all different tags in there. Like, and I'll just give you some examples: daily tips email, monthly email, you know, the long-term nurture, you know, sales offers, whatever. Call them whatever, and then you can put a link in your emails to allow people to go to a page where they have checkboxes for each of those, and they say, oh yeah, I want the daily tips, or I don't want the daily tips. I want that one, I don't want that one. Let me see if I can remember where ours is. So I just set it up. Yeah, so when you hit the URL, here's what it looks like by default. You know, obviously I need to style this one, but you know, I can get lead generation emails, sales conversion emails, weekly newsletter, Infusionsoft tips and tricks, Entreport tips and tricks, user group summary, etc. Like, oh yeah, I want that, and I want that, I want to stop getting that one, so just update, and then it tells me up here once it's done. Your subscriptions have been updated, so you're set. And then, you know, those are the types of emails that you're sending by pulling up lists of tags and just doing broadcasts, right? So if you wanted to as well, you could set up your campaigns so that every time it goes to send an email, it checks, hey, do they have this tag? If so, continue on in the campaign, send an email. If not, pull them out. So that would get kind of fancy in your campaigns, make your campaigns you know, a little more complicated than necessary. But if you wanted to, you could literally let people opt in and out of your various different automated sequences as well by doing that.
So when they want to update your subscription, is it bring to the page on Box Marketing?
No. This is a little. This part right here is a little snippet plugin. Okay. That here, look. Let me show you on the tool page.
Okay. Just plug in your WordPress or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So all of these tools right here, ROI Tracker, Form Validator, Geolocator, and Subscription Manager, all run off of one centralized JavaScript code. And so you come here and you get this JavaScript code and you put it on your website just like Google Analytics, so it shows up everywhere, right? And then you can toggle the different tools on and off. And so if I want Subscription Manager, then I just go over to go to Subscription Manager in the menu, and it'll tell me how I use that one. And that one, all I need to do is put this little snippet of code wherever I want those checkboxes to show up. And then here I select the tag category that I'm using. And then all of those checkboxes are just the names of the tags in that category. And then when I send emails, I just need to add this little extra snippet onto the end of the link of whatever page I'm sending them to where I have that. And so you're merging in their email address and their contact ID. Our script checks to make sure those two things match. If they do, then it lets them in and pulls their tags and all that kind of stuff. If it doesn't, then we know they're trying to mess with us and we don't give them any info. So, cool. What else do we have on our list here?
Yeah. Let's box it. So I've been playing around with it and just love like some stuff that's on there. There's no password for guests or for like when you go in. Is that?
Yeah. So right now there's some content that is not gated. It's just out there like kind of public blog, and then we're going to be launching. Yeah, there's nothing to buy yet. But we'll be releasing soon a free membership, which will give you access to a couple of these tools. The tag by date tool is one of them. I can't remember which are the other ones that are free. And then our standard membership is $2,400 a year, and it gives you access to all of the tools and all of the content. So you can see in here we're releasing content every week under each of these themes, and so it's articles, webinars, pro tips on Infusionsoft, step-by-step guides on growing your business, all kinds of stuff. So, and it's not just us. I don't know if you've seen our faculty. We basically brought together like the best of the Infusionsoft community. So I'll pull up this list here. So Brad Martineau with 6 Division, Chris Austin, John Pantoja, Ryan Chapman, Fix Your Funnel, Jordan Halls, Site Traffic Control. We got Fuse Desk. Dan Kurt is Revenue Conduit, we just talked about. Desiree Scales, website expert. Paul Tao is copywriter. Samantha's personal branding stuff, and the list goes on. So we're just all the best people we brought in to help contribute content, and so that we'll do webinars with them. They submit articles, all kinds of stuff. Just every week we're putting out more content. Like this week we put out like 2 articles, a webinar, 2 pro tips, tons of stuff. So that's so that looks like. Yep.
Back to your metric dashboard.
Uh-huh.
Did you say you can tag by days, like week by week, and have that tracked on that dashboard?
Yep.
Is also that automatically?
Yeah. Let me try and go back and do that one again. Actually, I want the tag by date report. Last time I ran it a minute ago, it pulled 0 results. My guess is it's an API issue. So we're using Infusionsoft's latest version of the API, which most people aren't using. I'll show you one of the advantages to it. I think I showed you this before, but I'll go ahead and disconnect this. Typically, in the past, whenever you've used any third-party application, you have to give them like your username, password, API key, social security number, your child's birthday, everything, right? It's like really insecure. And so Infusionsoft finally came out with an OAuth process. So when you first log in, it asks you to connect your Infusionsoft account. You click that. It actually takes you over to Infusionsoft and says, okay, well, I'm already logged in. If you weren't, you would have to log in. And I have more than one account, and so I have to choose the account I want. And it says, yes, allow it. And then it takes me back to Box Out Tools, and you now have access. So you don't have to give your API key. You don't have to do any of that stuff. It's just, giving access. But with that new version of the API, we've had troubles with what they call their queries per second, their QPS. Have you had any trouble with that with the new one? And Michael Fairchild just got back to us this week and said actually they did find a problem on their end because they increased our limit. We were supposed to be getting like 500 queries per second, which we're not coming anywhere close to that, but we were hitting the limit. We're getting the QPS error all the time. And he came back and said, actually, we were limiting on our side and we didn't even know it and whatever. So we're still having a few little issues here and there, but yeah, that's because we kept hitting the limit, and so they kept upping it. And yeah, 500 is way more than we need. But they kept upping it to try and figure out what was going on. And eventually he's like, yeah, you're not doing 500 per second, so let me see. And they went and looked on their side.
Just completely eliminated the whole, that was the big problem before, right? At least from our standpoint.
But you have to get those limits increased like by permission. It doesn't start out that way. It starts out with a pretty low limit, and then just because I've been working with Michael on this, and he was trying to troubleshoot it, he increased it to 500. I don't think he's going to leave us at 500. He's probably going to bring it back down.
There's also some trust building that's one because they have to trust that your code is
right.
structured properly, so you're not doing anything which are really expensive operations.
Yeah, that's true. And since I have a long-standing relationship there, I think they were more willing. So, okay, so here we go. I've got this metric. We've added 20 people in the last couple of weeks. I can click Add this to your weekly metrics, and then it does it. Success. Click here to see your weekly metrics. Click on that. Take us over there. And so there it is. Now it's added to our weekly metrics. It just went in there automatically.
Measurement, is that right?
What's that?
A week-to-week measurement?
Yeah, let's see what it pulls in there. Yeah, so it still has it, so you have to enter that data manually. again, like I said, what I told Ramin, who's our developer on this page, I want people to enter these metrics manually because I want them looking at them. Now with that one, it might make sense since you're using the tag by date tool just to go back and pull that data the same way and have that be automatic. I go back and forth on that, you know, I don't know. What's that?
Let's go forth on that.
Go forth on that one. Okay, we'll see, we'll see. But part of that is just, I know that I learned while I was at Infusionsoft, I mean, I looked at the numbers every day. And it's just a discipline that I developed. I was kind of forced to develop. It wasn't my nature to look at it every single day. But when you're given money and you're responsible for that money and that money keeps coming and you have to keep reporting back every week what's happening with the money, what's happening with the money, what's happening with the money, you got to get real good real fast at knowing exactly what's happening with every dollar of that money, and you start looking at the numbers every day. And so that discipline I developed through that process, and I know that, you know, while I was at Infusionsoft, I got to the point where I knew those numbers. You know, off the top of my head, you could ask me any day of the week, you know, how many leads are you getting on a daily basis? What's your cost per lead by source? I could tell you on Facebook it's this much, on, you know, these other ads it's this much, it's whatever. You know, all those things. And when you get to that point, you know your numbers so well that on any given day, if things aren't starting to work out the way you want, you can make adjustments and changes that are going to affect your numbers in the right way. You know, if all of a sudden one source is not performing, I know I've got 5 others in my back pocket that I can increase funds with, or, you know, I can do things. We call it levers. You know, I've got as many levers at my disposal as possible, so that if things don't start working out, I'm going to shut this one down. I'm going to crank on this one. I'm going to start running things over here. And you only have that ability when you know those numbers. You know, and you're very familiar with them. It's funny because we used to have a contest, like every time we'd send out a broadcast, you know, we'd have everyone in the marketing team like guess, you know, how many, like if we were promoting a webinar, you know, how many signups are we going to have, how many people are going to attend, things like that. Or we send out a broadcast, how many people are going to open, how many people are going to click, whatever. We'd have everyone kind of throw in their numbers. And we got to the point where we were really, really accurate. You know, with a list of 800,000 people, you know, we could be pretty dang accurate just because we knew the numbers. We're looking at them all the time. You know, so enough diatribe about all that stuff. What else do I have here?
I have another shameless plug for another add-on.
Fix your funnel, send out cards, then direct. That was the next on my list. Didn't want to steal your thunder, but I did.
Okay, you're in the teacher's spot. What goes around?
Yeah, so Fix Your Funnel also has a send out cards integration and a Zen Direct integration. So Tom and Lorene, you guys have used these. I haven't, but I've learned from you pros and cons here. Yeah, you guys use Zen Direct now instead of send out cards. Benefits are you can have as many merge fields as you want, right? You don't have a send out cards logo on the back with their little stuff. Yeah, it's all fully white labeled. What else are the benefits?
Well, it's 50% less expensive.
50% less expensive. That's a big one.
Yeah, it was send out cards is $142 a card, and this is $1 a card.
Okay, then, okay, 40-some%. It is very, very much less. If you buy into their higher end, you know, commitment monthly.
Yep.
Above the card with postage.
Yeah,
Bucket card includes postage. Cool.
They do the gifts too, the gifts and the gift card.
So you guys send out nuts to certain people.
Yeah, so nuts always make it through the doorkeeper, the gatekeeper. So whatever you're doing, just send it.
Nuts get through the gatekeeper. Awesome.
Yeah, gummy bears that now have brownies and cookies, I think, all kinds of
brownies, gummy bears.
You don't have the send out cards junk everywhere, and you can do the all four.
And those cards can be fully customized, right? You guys put pictures of Sammy on there. You put whatever you want.
There's actually no ready-made template.
There's no ready-made template, so you have to make your own card. Okay.
That would be one of the, I suppose, of send out cards.
Yeah, advantage of send out cards would be they have. Sure. That's on Fix Your Funnel as well. So Fix Your Funnel. It's funny because they don't have the Zen Direct integration like on here.
Yeah.
Right? You have to like sign up for their
send out cards. It comes free with the send out cards.
Yeah, what is it? The integration.
Sometimes licensing, you get the send out cards purchased, and Zen Direct is sort of for free. So
it's the direct mail.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, what I would do is just call them, that number right there, and say I want send out or I want Zen Direct, and ask them what it is. But you know, just to explain to everybody what this is all about, like Tom and Lorraine have all these sequences they put people through, and at various different points, automatically they're sent cards, nuts, etc. And so when someone signs up for their face-to-face CRR, which is their college readiness review, they send them some nuts. So by the time they have the review, people come and they're like, "Oh, thanks for the nuts." And right, and they get a card with Sammy's picture. Sammy's their dog, and here we should.
The kids' birthdays.
We should just switch over here and introduce everybody to Sammy.
Sammy.
Come on.
Sammy.
Come on.
Sammy's on the floor down there.
Wake up, Sammy.
Oh man, don't wake him up. So Sammy's like the face of the company.
So
Everyone gets to know Sammy.
Depending on what the family bought, then they get different levels of gifts for their kids' birthdays too, and all of that stuff is automated.
Yeah.
So we've got what about 25 different card campaigns.
Oh yeah.
That go through there.
Yeah.
Automatically.
We send out monthly cards at certain levels to try to help upsell them and let them get their mind share. You know, it's $1 a month for these prospects. I mean, that's great for a customized card. You didn't?
Fair.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not a problem.
No.
I gotta do the nuts.
I want to make some in the mail, actually.
That's it. Graduation cards for our kids, you know, birthday
Are they
cards.
reliable?
That's, yeah.
Because we build our whole fulfillment center, we track multiple ones every single time.
I think they've got the bugs worked out.
Well, in send-out cards, they only had a couple of merge fields, and then when Infusionsoft changed their API, remember, then we had a real hard time.
That's when they found Fisher Pump, and they'd asked for that.
Yeah, so great.
Cool, that's pretty much everything. Oh wait, I had one more on my list. Sorry. Let's cover this one and then I'm going to wrap it up and you guys can ask questions or leave or whatever you want to do. But if you are doing shipping, you want to check out tacticalshipping.com. That's Chris Austin and Tactical Marketing, their team. Full integration with FedEx, UPS, and United States Post Office. You'll get automatically be able to print labels and charge your account with FedEx or with UPS or any of those, and the tracking numbers come back into the orders in custom fields and all that kind of stuff. So it's just full integration the way it should be. There's another one that I would say Infusionsoft should just buy this and integrate it into the software because it's silly that it's not there. But tacticalshipping.com, it's the best option out there for shipping integration. That's all.
Hey, can I throw one more?
Yeah.
Awesome, actually. If you're doing video hosting, it's called Wistia.com.
Yep. Yeah, Wistia is a good one. So for video hosting, Wistia.
So here's the awesome part about Wistia. It lets you really look at your analytics.
Yeah.
And tell you exactly what's going on with the video.
Yeah, the analytics with Wistia are great. The other thing is, like Plus This has a plugin. It's not really a plugin. I think it's just like a script that works with Wistia so that you can track and tag people based on how much of a video they watch. Things like that. For video hosting, I actually use Easy Video Suite, and I really like it. There's advantages and disadvantages, of course, to all of these, but Easy Video Suite has a whole bunch of different options for including forms and videos, for not gating, but locking those videos down to specific domains if you only want people to be able to play them on your domain and things like that. So all the videos on our membership side are all delivered by Easy Video Suite, which integrates with Amazon web hosting. So the videos are actually hosted there and served there. Easy Video Suite just kind of does the whole wrapper and player and all that kind of stuff. There's a bunch of different player options and things like that. So, but yeah, Wistia is a good one. I know I've seen a lot of people in the Infusionsoft community more and more using Wistia.
Yeah, the other thing is Wistia just redid their pricing. They used to be really expensive, and they're extremely affordable.
Really? Wistia is cheaper now, huh?
Yeah, that was the thing with them. They were just like,
Cool.
That's so pressing.
Yeah, so if you not looked at their pricing in a while, I would strongly recommend.
Let's check it out here. It's loading. Oh.
Tom, what do you use to record your widescreen webcam videos or camcorder videos and stuff? What program do you use to record that? Or do you actually...
The videos that I do, like where I have a black background and all that kind of stuff, didn't we talk about this recently?
I forgot which one.
Yeah.
I'm using camcorder and take a memory card and...
Yeah, no, I use a Canon T2i, so it's a really cheap DSLR. It's a really cheap DSLR, but I have a really nice lens on it, and a good mic, and mediocre lighting.
And you're taking the memory card.
Yeah, I just take the memory card, stick it in the computer, load it into iMovie, edit it there. So $25 for 50 gigabytes of bandwidth, 25 videos.
Is that just storage?
That's the bandwidth is like how much is actually loaded, right? Each month, how much people watch.
Yeah.
People watch 50 gigabytes worth of video.
That's pretty easy.
25 videos.
If you're bandwidth sensitive, another option is video.
Yeah.
Which purely charges you for your storage
Okay.
and plays. So no matter how long your video is, they charge you for one play.
Yeah.
And so it's like $200 a year, and my numbers may not be right, but I think that's 50,000 plays.
You know, when I first started my business, I was using Vimeo, and I had a lot of people complaining about buffering. And one of the things that I've kind of noticed and learned in playing with Vimeo is that Vimeo's platform is really built for kind of more of the artist and high quality video, and so they don't compress the videos as much. They leave it at like 2,000 kilobits per second or something like that. And with typical web video, you want about 1,000 kilobits per second. And so I had some problems with that, mainly because I shot high quality, high def video and just uploaded it straight in there.
One of the things I tell my clients is
compress it first.
Generally don't do high def.
Yeah.
Do 640 by 40 or something.
Yeah.
You get a low res screen that doesn't. Yeah.
Right.
You know the kind of plug whiskey I did?
Yeah.
The cool thing about this is that they encode like in about 5 different formats.
Yeah.
They always deliver an optimal experience.
Yeah,
but
that's
I think
good.
since you're paying for it, they can afford to do that as opposed
Yep.
to like a whiskey or something.
Sure. Yeah, so that's one of the advantages with some of these systems is that they'll play depending on the bandwidth, they'll load the right version or whatever so that it still plays and doesn't buffer all over the place and things like that. So.
But the analytics are the big thing. You can
Yeah.
look in aggregate, you can see the fallout curve and engagement. You can look at actually on a
Yep.
user by user basis. I mean, if you're tweaking videos, and which we do all the time, it's just awesome information.
Cool. Very good. All right. Well, I think that's it. That's all I had on my list. Like I said, there's a bazillion more things. We could spend days and days just going through plugins, add-ons, and all kinds of stuff. But hopefully that gives you a good sense for what's out there, what's available, what's possible. And next month we'll get back into Infusionsoft itself and do more stuff there. Yeah.
Just one other thing on that note is I've had customers flirt with other systems, and I gotta say, in my love-hate relationship with Infusionsoft, they do have one of the richer ecosystems for third-party developers and plugins and enhancements. If you go to something like Entreport or something, you're going to see not anywhere near that support.
Yeah, and the API isn't as strong either in terms of all the hooks.
I didn't want to go there.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I get the same thing. I have my years and years of pent-up frustration with Infusionsoft. I think we all do. At the same time, I continually look out there and see what's out there, and there aren't other options, which I'd say sometimes even adds to the frustration, right? But at the same time, there are good things happening in Infusionsoft, as slow as it may be happening. One of the things that's recent that I don't know if you guys are all aware of, or if you've kind of been in tune with all this, but the VP of product, Richard Tripp, he came in a couple years ago, made some really good changes where we got Infusionsoft focused on Infusionsoft's most profitable customers. and building software for those people, not all over the place, whatever things we wanted to build. That was a good change. He's no longer there. The next evolution of that team now is focused on what's called a SUS score. It's a system usability score. And now they're really measuring, and this wasn't present before, believe it or not, now they're really measuring usability. And so this release that's rolling out right now, spring of 2014, which is now summer of 2014, yeah, it's a little lackluster. You know, there aren't really any new features. There's a few little polishing things here and there. It really comes down to them just putting their foot down and saying, we are not releasing new features unless they meet an 82 on the SUS score, which is really high. And so they're just getting disciplined about it, which makes development a little slower for us, and our frustrations get prolonged. But I really believe in the long run, it's going to be the right move. And I think, you know, as they continue to grow and progress, we'll start to see the fruits of this in the next few releases. You know, like I said, as frustrating as it is, you know, luckily I have channels on the back end where I kind of hear what's going on, and I believe they're doing it right. And I believe that they're well ahead of other systems that are trying to do the same thing. You know, you see Green Rope out there, you see Entreport out there, and they're behind. They're behind. I mean, I went and got certified at Entreport. Some of you guys know that. You know, I went through their whole certification course, talked with the president of the company, and met developers and everything. They're 5 years behind Infusionsoft in every single way. It's really interesting because I looked at, you know, the number of customers, number of leads they're getting every month, you know, the software and what it looks like. It's literally like if you just took Infusionsoft and rewound 5 years, they're like in the exact same spot. So they'll get there. I think they really will. I think they're on the right track. They're on a similar track anyways. They're just behind. So that's where we're at.
They should hire you.
What's that?
They should hire you.
Hey, Tyler,
yeah.
one of the things advertised for the spring/summer release was much higher speed. And I'm not seeing that at all. My system still gets bogged down horribly.
The past week it's been horrible.
Yeah, speed for me has been intermittent. There's some times when I log in, I'm like, whoa, that was fast. And then other times it gets really slow. So I don't know if it's, you know, working out kinks or what. But, you know, one of the things that's interesting to note, you know, 4 years ago or so, the development team started on this process of re-architecting the software. And, you know, to put it into terms of, you know, layman's terms of how we can understand that, the developers there would always tell us that really what that means is we've got a ship, we're sailing in the ocean, and we're rebuilding the ship as we sail. I mean, they're literally taking out planks, going in, taking out, you know, full beams, and rebuilding as we go. So it's a bit of a slow process because you can't just undo the whole thing while you're floating. But they've been redoing the whole thing, and so you know, they've been re-architecting it in a way to eventually get to an end benefit of, you know, faster and, you know, better reports and all those kinds of things. But, you know, just thinking through that analogy, you can imagine how that's a little tricky. It also, I think, makes the point for why there aren't other people or other companies really going head-to-head with Infusionsoft. It's really hard to do what they're doing. You know, email solutions, fine, simple. E-commerce solutions, simple. CRM solutions, simple. Put it all together, it gets complex fast. And like I said, as frustrated as we get sometimes, you know, the fact that they've held it together this long and then continuing to make progress, you know, I think they're on the right track.
How's the merge field issue coming along? Do you guys, you know?
What merge field issue?
The merge contacts. That's been.
Oh yeah, you can't merge. No. I don't know what the current status is, but yeah, I ran into that one the other day. It's a little frustrating. Yeah, yeah, and I thought, oh, no problem. I know how to merge fields through the API, and I tried that, and it still didn't work. Yeah, they shut the whole thing down. So, anyways, I think we're about at the top of the hour here. We'll go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks everybody for attending. Thanks all of our online crew for joining us, as sparse as you were. Everyone's playing. It's summer. They're out at the beach where we should be. We're sitting here staring at the harbor and the ocean, and they're out playing in it. All right. See you guys later.